Have you ever wondered why certain people just instantly get on your nerves the moment you meet them? You might even feel a little guilty about it, thinking, why do I want to roll my eyes and walk away so badly? Well, there's actually some psychology behind this. Our brains are hardwired to make quick assessments in social situations, leading to snap judgments for survival. This behavior, while ancient in origin, comes from our ancestors who needed to rapidly determine whether someone was a potential threat or ally in the blink of an eye. In a world where danger could lurk around every corner, being able to quickly judge character wasn't just helpful, it was necessary. In today's modern context, those traits that our ancestors might have deemed dangerous are still present, but now they show up in the form of personality traits that we find utterly annoying. While we're not fending off predators or rival tribes, the instinct remains. It's important to remember this so you can hold fewer grudges and perhaps develop a little more understanding. So, let's dive into the 5 personality traits that are most likely to annoy you. Fair warning. Statistics say most people possess at least one of these traits, so don't be surprised if you find yourself on the list. Let's start with arrogance. Arrogant people carry an air of superiority, always trying to make others feel smaller or less important. They might dish out backhanded compliments like, "Oh, your outfit's cute, but I'm not sure it's fancy enough for this place." Or, "You might want to change, but I don't know if you even have the right clothes for this restaurant." These comments leave you feeling belittled, and for good reason. As humans, we crave fairness and social connection, and arrogance is a direct challenge to that. It signals a lack of empathy and makes it nearly impossible to form genuine connections. Next on the list is chronic complaining. Now, we all need to vent sometimes, it's human, but chronic complainers take it to the next level. They're perpetually focused on the negative, saying things like, "I can't believe we have to deal with this again. It's so unfair." The constant stream of negativity wears on the people around them because exposure to this kind of emotional energy impacts our own mood and mental state. It triggers discomfort, and instinctively, we want to distance ourselves from that person. It's like an emotional rain cloud hovering around them that nobody wants to get caught under. Now, let's talk about the tricky world of passive-aggressiveness. This one's like a hidden landmine in any conversation. The passive-aggressive person won't come at you directly. Instead, they'll hide their hostility behind seemingly polite comments like, "Oh, that's an interesting approach. I wouldn't have thought to do it that way, but then again, I've got more experience with this sort of thing." It sounds polite, but the subtext is dripping with resentment or condescension. Our brains love clear, straightforward communication, and when we don't get that, our threat detection system kicks in. We're left feeling confused and frustrated, sensing something's off but not quite sure how to address it. The 4th most annoying trait is self-centeredness. This is when someone's world revolves entirely around themselves. They put their needs first, disregarding others in the process. Self-centered individuals rarely consider other people's perspectives, and this lack of reciprocity grates against our innate need for balance in social interactions. Conversations with them feel one-sided, draining, and devoid of any real connection. Finally, we have inflexibility. These people resist change at all costs. They cling to outdated beliefs and refuse to entertain new ideas, which can make interacting with them frustrating. Our brains thrive on novelty and adaptability. So when we encounter someone who digs in their heels and refuses to move with the times, it feels like we're banging our heads against a wall. It stifles the flow of conversation and limits what could otherwise be an enlightening exchange of ideas. Now, we could intellectualize all these traits and try to muster up empathy, understanding that these behaviors stem from deeper insecurities or unresolved issues. But the truth is, sometimes it's okay to just not like someone. There's a valid psychological reason you find them difficult to tolerate, and you don't need to force yourself to be okay with it. You also don't need to stick around in conversations that leave you feeling drained or frustrated. So what do you do when you're face-to-face with someone displaying these traits? Well, you can politely, yet assertively, excuse yourself. Here's how you might handle it. To an arrogant person, "Your experiences are interesting, but I think it's best if I take a break and engage with some other folks. Please excuse me." To a chronic complainer, "I understand you've got concerns, but I need to step away for some fresh air. Talk soon." To a passive-aggressive person, I sense there's some underlying tension here. I'd rather not get caught up in it, so I'll catch up with you later. To a self-centered individual, it seems like we've been talking a lot about your experiences. I'd like to hear from others, so I'll see you around. To an inflexible person, I know you've got your perspective, but I'd like to explore some different approaches. Take care. Yes, these responses might feel a bit direct, but sometimes that's exactly what's needed. It's not impolite, it's assertive. And while you don't owe anyone an explanation for excusing yourself from a conversation, sometimes giving a little feedback can be helpful. Who knows? Maybe your honest but kind response will encourage them to reflect on their behavior. Now, if any of these traits sound uncomfortably familiar and you recognize them in yourself, that's okay too. You're already ahead of the game by becoming more self-aware. This is where real growth starts. In this series, we'll be exploring how to address and improve upon these traits if you're the one displaying them. We'll also dive deeper into how to manage these kinds of interactions in a way that preserves your energy and keeps things positive. Remember, we're all on this journey of personal growth together. So until next time, take care and keep moving forward. You've got this.